Calamari Salutations everyone, Squid here bringing you the week 2 of the PSL Draft League, the National Dex Draft League that I'm doing. And this week we are going off against Guinazu and his Besteiros Pokémon Club. His team is composed of Mega Banette, Jirachi, Tornadus Therian, Blastoise, Arcanine, Shaymin, Hitmonlee, Manectric, Drapion, Piloswine and Gramble. So about last week, we played good in some moments of the match, but we did some crucial mistakes, namely letting the Appleton die to the Ice Punch. I think was the turn that decided the game, because after that nothing resisted the Fish's Rant of the Dracovish, and I just couldn't help but fall to the pressure that Dracovish was applying to my team. But last week was last week. We'll try to learn from our mistakes last week and try to write a new story for this week. And so, yeah, looking at his team, Mega Diancie applies a lot of offensive pressure, and I do want to try and get the what's it called? The Mega Evolution as soon as possible, because Magic Bounce will actually be pretty useful in this match, I feel like. And we'll go with a strategy that revolves around a War of Attrition, and you'll see what I mean when we get to the team. So, let's start off with Infernape that's making his debut this week. I'm going physical. I originally had it offensive, special. Yes, I originally had it special, but here's the thing. I want to toxic stuff a lot, and Fake Out works best with the toxic pressure appliance, if you could call it that. I don't know what I'm saying. And so I knew I wanted Fake Out to pair up with the amount of toxics that I have in my team. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And we have Flare Blitz to try and net us some KOs from certain ranges of health on some Pokemon. And yeah, U-turn for momentum, and that's basically it for Toxic. Why is the Toxic here on the Infernape? It's because of Tornadus. Tornadus is the only one that I will have quite a difficulty in Toxicking, so I want to do that. And let's go into Deoxys defense next. It's a Spike Setter, and a pretty good one. Deoxys defense is a pretty good Spike Setter. It invites in some mons like Defensive Arcanine, and maybe other mons that will try and Toxic Stall it. It has the Rocky Helmet because I don't want to be flinched to death by Jirachi freely, so at least there's that. And the speed investment allows me to outspeed. I believe it's the Drapion. No, it's not the Drapion. Let me see what mon it was. I think it's Hitmonlee. I want to say it's Hitmonlee, but or the Blastoise. I feel like it's the Blastoise. Yes. So, Seismic Toss is generally the move that deals the most damage, so I decided to go with that. And paired with the Toxic, it should do a good chunk, I'd say. And next we have the Obstagoon with the Defiant this week. So I already revealed that my plan is hazard stacking him. So when he defogs, because from what I saw he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner. He does have 2 Rapid Spinners, but well. I still think he's gonna bring defog on the Tornadus, because it's a pretty good defogger against my team. And so if he defogs, we'll go into the Obstagoon and get a raise in our attack stat, and then we can just freely knock off anything that comes in. Parting Shot is just for momentum because it will be useful, I feel like, and Choice Scarf for speed control. Next we'll go into the Zebstrika, and Zebstrika is Air Balloon for a specific reason, and that reason is Piloswine. So Piloswine always comes in on the Zebstrika. I want to Toxicate if it comes in, And then at least we can burn a turn with our air balloon and stuff. And yeah, I feel like that's it. Let's go into the fortress. So Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rock. I'm kind of torn between Toxic Spikes and Gyro Ball. I'm still gonna decide until the very start of the match, but I feel like I will go with Toxic Spikes. The reason for that is he can only bring heavy duty boots in one mon, so I want to try and abuse that. Maybe that's why I have over reliance on Toxic, because maybe my mock partner was using 2 heavy duty boots. Now that I think about it, you cheater, Monte. So yeah, so I want to bring the Toxic Spikes because only one mon can have the heavy duty boots. Stealth Rock will be my main hazards setting with the fortress, but I want to try and see if I can potentially get layers of Toxic Spikes up. Ideally 2, I feel like. In this match, I feel like 2 would be pretty good. And Rapid Spin, because I don't want to remove my hazards, so Rapid Spin is there in case he sets up his own hazards, and I want to get rid of them. Yeah. So, as I said, Diancie applies a lot of offensive pressure this week, and we want to try and capitalize on that. The only 2 mons on his team naturally outspeed the Diancie, so we can freely set up Calm Minds and then start wrecking stuff. We went with full special this week. Power Gem, Earth Power, Moonblast, Earth Power to go into to hit the Jirachi, which should be his main switch-in. And Moonblast, Power Gem, the combination of those 2 do quite a good number on him. So yeah, if I can get up Calm Mind, I feel like I will be in a pretty good position to potentially sweep his team. So let's see how this one goes. We'll go into the match right now. Alright guys, so here we are. This is actually take 2 of the recording. So he brought the Banette and the Blastoise, and I really didn't expect those 2. And I figured that I wanted to lead with Obstagoon at first, but since he didn't bring the Piloswine, I was more inclined to lead with Zebstrika. Reason for that is the Tornadus lead was pretty probable, and that would put me into a favorable position, because if he switched it out, I would get momentum. So that's what I did. I led with the Zebstrika, and we can actually put this into normal speed, I feel like. So I was Balloon, and from this damage on the Tornadus, I immediately knew that he was invested into attack. So I figured it was rather than physical, it would be rather than special, it will be a more physically inclined Tornadus, and that signal to me that he had the Iron Tail for sure. So I went into Deoxys because Deoxys would be a U-turn punisher from the Jirachi. Also, by the way, from the damage that Zebstrika did on the Jirachi, I knew it was Assault Vest, and that's something that I kind of forgot later down the line, as you'll see. He went into the Drapion, and I went into the Diancie, so that was a pretty good switch-in. He taunted me, and I immediately attacked. Earth Power didn't do a thing to the Tornadus, so that's something that I could have played better. I could have went for the safer play and went for Power Gem. Even if the Jirachi came in, I knew that it was Assault Vest, so it wasn't recovering HP. And then since the Tornadus came in, I knew it had Iron Tail for sure, so I went into the Fortress to take that hit, and he did reveal to have Iron Tail. So I think we can go slow now. I knew he would switch in the Arcanine, and that thing would be annoying for me to switch into, so I'd rather Volt Switch and have the Diancie applying pressure on the field, and we immediately attack the Arcanine with the Earth Power. He stayed in and survived, and he hit us with the Iron Head, and that's our main offensive threat down. And that was his misplay. So as I explained earlier, Assault Vest on the Jirachi meant that it wasn't recovering HP, so I'd rather get as few chip as it was, get damage on the Jirachi, and if I pressed the Power Gem there, I picked up the KO on the Arcanine for sure, so that's the play I should have made. That was a mistake, and let's see if it cost us the game or not. We go into Infernape, figured that was the thing that could make us gain some momentum with U-turn. The switching into Blastoise was pretty obvious, so we go for the Discharge here. Discharge is Spirity free, and we do kind of get lucky because he got paralyzed and he was fully paralyzed, so we got that going for us. And I figured that I wanted to discharge again because Volt Switch wasn't guaranteeing the KO, so discharge once again and we get the KO. Here comes the Banette, and we are faster than it, so we just Volt Switch out and figured that Fortress would be a pretty good switching because it was max defense this week. So there goes the lefties, and the Drapion comes in and we just Volt Switch out into Obstagoon. Yes, so Obstagoon is now starting to get on the field. We do see that it's Black Sludge, so we were unsure if it would be more offensive inclined or defensive inclined, but I figured that with the Taunt and the Black Sludge we could be sure that it was more like max HP, and I think that in battle I reached to the conclusion that it was max HP and probably almost max speed, something like that. So we just Parting Shot out here to gain some momentum, and we go into the Fortress because we figured that he wouldn't be able to do much against the Fortress. So here now we start trading off hazards. So he goes for Toxic Spikes, and the only two mons that aren't affected by Toxic Spikes on my team are Fortress and the Infernape because it has the heavy duty boots. And so I figured that he would switch into the Banette here, so I just Volt Switch out, and then I go into Infernape and U-turn out because I wasn't KOing from this range. First I Fake Out, of course, to get some chip. With the Black Sludge the chip isn't as much as I wanted it to be, so I just U-turn out and go into Fortress once again because he isn't really breaking through the Fortress here. So we figured that we just Rapid Spin the hazards away, so that's pretty good. I thought maybe at this point he thought we didn't have it, that's why he stayed in. But I figured that since he wasn't switching on the Banette, he wouldn't do so this second time. So yeah, we do that once again, Volt Switch out to slowly chip away at the Drapion. I think we're going to Fake Out once again. Even with the attack drop, the Fake Out doesn't KO the Arcanine, but the U-turn does. So we go into the Fortress once again, and he goes into the Tornadus Therian here. So this was a crucial turn because I really want this layer of Toxic Spikes off my side of the field. And I was figuring, if he's physically oriented, I think there's a low probability of him having Heat Wave. So I figured that I'd rather stay in and get rid of the hazard rather than switching out and taking something else and taking the hit with something else. So I stay in, he air slashes, and we unfortunately get the flinch. So he did get the paralysis, so I think that kind of evens it out. But we do get the Fortress KO'd. And now that the Obstagoon is in, we just want to knock off stuff. We figured that Since we're locked in, he knows we're locked in, but Drapion comes in now, and we just want this thing rid of us. We just want to get rid of this annoying Drapion as soon as possible. So he didn't quite KO us, and we figured now we just let the Obstagoon go down. I don't think at this point of the match, I don't think it's the Mon that's gonna win us the game. So we just stay in and trade as much damage as possible. And now we make a second mistake. So here I was predicting the knockoff, and here okay, so yeah, so here I was predicting the knockoff. So I wanted to recover because after I didn't have my item, the knockoff wouldn't deal as much damage, but he just taunted, and that was the best play he could have made. And honestly, I just had to predict that and go for the seismic toss there. So we ended up getting poison chip. Now he goes for knockoff. He deals a butt ton of damage to the Deoxys, and we just seismic toss, and he goes down finally. But the thing is, now the Tornadus just comes in and claims the KO, and I can't really switch out because my team doesn't take the attacks from Tornadus that well. So now he's in front of the Banette, and this was the mistake that actually cost us the match. So I knew that Banette had access to Destiny Bond, but I kind of forgot about Prankster. So I was in my head, it made perfect sense. So I was thinking, so he has Destiny Bond, but since I'm faster, it doesn't matter, right? No, Prankster Destiny Bond. So I just go for Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz would have KO'd from that range, but the Destiny Bond takes us out, and that means that Tornadus and Jirachi with the Assault Vest are just too much for the Zebstrika to take in. So we just go for the Jirachi. Figured that we wouldn't win the game, so I'd rather just go for the overheat and try to mitigate differential as much as possible. So there we have it, the overheat KOs the Jirachi, but the U-turn is just a free kill on us. So GG's to my opponent, Guinazu. This was a pretty good match. We definitely made some mistakes there, and we made 3 crucial mistakes along the way, and that ultimately cost us the game. So it's definitely something that we want to improve on for the next match. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Squid jetting out.